in through your nose and out through your mouth. All right, everybody have fun today, all right? I know you've worked hard, you put in a lot of time to get ready for this. We're gonna have a good time, but I do want you to remember, this is my one piece of advice I'll give you, and then we'll get started. If you want to be a good advocate, if you want to be persuasive, you have to be yourself. It sounds like advice from the Disney Channel, but it's true. You have to find your own voice. Don't try to be somebody else. If you've seen TV lawyers, don't try to play make-believe TV lawyer. Be you, because if you'll talk like yourself, you're going to do a really good job. Okay? Is everyone ready? Sure. All right. So the first thing I have here is opening statement from the prosecution, Ms. Dugan. Okay, and as far as the way we do court with the face mask and all that, just do whatever your high school coaches and teachers told you to do. But our rule in here is if you're speaking, you don't have to wear a mask because it kind of muffles the sound. Whenever there's a jury over there, I guess we should get the jury in there, shouldn't we? I want you to give an opening statement to each box. All right, here's the jury pool. As I call your name, you're going to come out this way. You're going to go through that door where our bailiff, Butch Adams, is. And you'll just grab a seat and try to fill up the front row first if you can. Alonda Barcenas, Dillian Levins, Amelia Hanks, Andrew Munoz, Jariah Johnson, Kenia Herrera, Jairo Mejia, Cole Silman, Jamie Cervantes, Eliana Elise, Ellie Edens, Miranda Ball. We'll get Alondra Barcenas, Dillian Levins, Amelia Hanks, Jariah Johnson, Kenia Herrera, Andrew Munoz, Jairo Mejia, Cole Silman, Jamie Cervantes, Eliana Elise, Ellie Edens, and Miranda Ball. All right, is there anybody that we're missing over here?
Yeah, Miranda is actually one of the, she's part of the, Ellie's not here, Ellie Edens is not here.
Okay, and do we have folks that are playing the defendants today?
Yes.
All right, can I have the defendants please stand? All right, and let's see. There's different prosecutors in this case. If this was here in this court, we would have the prosecutor reading the charge. So I'll just kind of say to the charge of murder, Mr. Green, you plead. What is your plea? Guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
Not guilty. All right. And Ms. White, what is your plea?
Not guilty.
All right. Thank you. You can be seated. Are we ready for opening statements? All right. If I do anything out of order, you'll have something else. You'll let me know. All right. Opening statement, ma'am, if you want. Wherever you're comfortable, you can talk to the jury over here or whatever works for you. Go ahead.
Your Honor, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, today we, the prosecution, will be charging Scarlett White and Thomas Green with murder. My co-counsel and I are representing the state of Texas in this case today. We're here to prove that on the night of January 7, 2021, that Scarlett White shot and killed Elizabeth Green. We're also here to prove that our husband, Thomas Green, was an accomplice to her murder. We'd also like to point out the fact that Scarlett was trying to find out the best way to be the only woman in this case. We find today that we hope that you, the jury, find Scarlett White and Thomas Green guilty. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. From the defense, you ready?
Yes, Your Honor.
And this is Mr. Brian Osornio.
Whenever you're ready.
Your Honor, members of the jury, my name is Brian Osornio and those are my fellow associates. We will be representing Mr. Thomas Green and Ms. Scarlett White in this case. On the night of February 7th, Thomas and Scarlett were having dinner at Thomas's apartment. Thomas had went to go get another bottle of wine, and when he returned, Scarlett was gone, and Elizabeth was, to his surprise, he saw Elizabeth. She, realizing what was happening, engaging into an argument, which eventually led to the kitchen. All of a sudden, 2 shots were fired from the outside through the window. Scarlett, thinking that Thomas was in danger, Elizabeth pulled out a gun from her purse and came out from her hiding spot and shot Elizabeth. After realizing the events that occurred, Thomas and Scarlett, thinking nobody would listen to their side, and made up alibis. The prosecution will claim that that night, Thomas and Scarlett had intended to kill Elizabeth. This will be proven false due to the fact that Elizabeth was actually supposed to be gone for the next couple of days on a business trip. Instead of looking at all the facts and the evidence, like finding the second gun that was never found, and the police only questioning one person at an entire apartment, they failed to do the job properly. I hope that you will listen to our side and find our defendants guilty.
Thank you. All right, the first witness in this case, Josiah McGraw. You can come around and grab a seat. First, prosecuting attorney is Ms. Sulphur. The defense attorney is Ms. Iris Mendez. Will Mr. McGraw deal with the topic first? Okay, and if I may look at swear into it. You see?
Please say your name and application.
My name is Sulphur. I'm a crime scene photography.
Were you present at the crime scene at apartment 113 on January 2nd?
I was, yes.
Why were you at the crime scene?
Submitted take pictures for evidence.
Do you recognize these?
I do recognize those photos.
Your Honor, the state of Texas exhibits A through H, the defense counsel for inspection and document testing.
Okay, is there any objection from the defense as to these exhibits? No objection, those will be
No,
admitted.
Your Honor.
Okay.
Can you verify that the photos shown are in fact from the crime scene in question?
Yes, I did.
Are these photographs a fair and accurate depiction of the crime scene as you observed it?
Yes, ma'am. I took these pictures before any evidence was tampered.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you. You can be seated. And defense attorney, Ms. Iris Mendez.
Around what time did you say that you took these pictures?
I have no idea, to be honest.
And was there anything in the house that could have been misplaced or caught your eye when you were taking them?
No, ma'am.
And was there anyone in or around the house that could have filmed with evidence other than what we already have in hand, or like maybe a neighbor?
Absolutely not.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes. All right, sir, you can be seated. Keeson Foster, the evidence collector, you come on down and be seated. Next, prosecutor is Karen Garcia, and the defense is Bailey Large. Ms. Garcia, you can be the first one, and can you swear in, please? Please proceed. Go ahead when you're ready.
State your name and profession.
My name is Jason Foster, and I'm an evidence collector.
What kind of education do you have?
I have my bachelor's in forensic science, also with many years of previous law enforcement.
How long have you been an evidence collector?
For about 5 years.
Can you verify the lipstick, fingerprint, hair, bullet, or evidence found at the crime scene? Your Honor, the state of Texas states that Exhibit I through L to the defense counsel inspection to operate into evidence.
Okay, Ms. Barge from the defense, is there any objection to the exhibits?
No, no.
Okay, those will be admitted.
Thank you, Your Honor. No complications.
Thank you, you can be seated, and the defense, you can come up and slide. Whenever you're ready.
While you were collecting evidence, did you follow all procedures to protect evidence from contamination?
Yes, I did.
Okay, what type of gun was found on this?
We found I do believe outside we found a 44 Magnum.
Okay, where was it found?
It was found outside the house,
And where at?
in the yard.
There was two different type of gun cases found in the scene, correct? Okay, and was a secondary gun ever recovered?
No.
And were the suspect's hands tested for gun residue?
I don't believe so.
And was the gun sent off for fingerprint analysis?
Not to my knowledge.
So if there was no fingerprint analysis, there's no way to tell 100% pull the trigger, correct?
Yes.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Sir, you can be seated. And we have Kip Childress as the switch artist, Ms. Dugan as the prosecutor, and Haywood Garcia as the defense. Can you swear me, please? Please be seated. Go ahead and be ready, ma'am.
Can you state your name and profession first, please?
I'm Kip Childress, I'm a sketch artist.
Okay, and about how long have you been a sketch artist?
Roughly 8 years.
All right, and what form of training do you have for your position?
I got my bachelor's degree through East Texas Baptist University.
Okay. And can you explain to us what you did at the crime scene on the night of January 7th?
My colleagues and I measured from each corner of the room to a certain piece of evidence, and then I made sketches through those measurements.
It states here that you did 2 sketches, is that correct?
Yes, I did a rough sketch, and then I did a final draft that was, perfect.
Can you verify that this sketch here is an accurate depiction of what you saw at the crime scene?
Yes, it is.
Your Honor, the state of Texas would like to state the exhibit A to the defense counsel for inspections and officers of evidence.
Is there any objection by the defense? That's admitted.
No further questions? Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, you can be seated. And Ms. Garcia.
How much experience do you have sketching crime scenes?
Roughly 8 years.
Okay. Could you explain the process that you took to create a crime scene sketch?
My colleagues and I would measure from 2 corners of the room, and then we would find that certain piece of evidence, and then we took those measurements and labeled it on graph paper.
Did you have anyone there when you sketched the final sketch of the crime scene?
Yes,
Did you have anyone verify the final sketch?
yes,
And you signed a responsibility checklist. You had a responsibility checklist to sign, did you?
yes.
Okay. And you signed it 5 days later than the rest of the team did. Could you explain why?
I was out of town, and so that was the quickest I could sign the papers, but I did do all of the work beforehand.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you. Good to see you, sir. All right, Miranda Ball will be the next witness. She's the note taker. Next prosecutor is Michelle Tijerine. The next defense attorney is Reese Rady. Swear them in, please. Please be seated. And Mandy can start when you're ready.
State your name and occupation.
I'm Miranda Ball, and I'm the trainer.
What type of training or education do you have for your profession?
I did basic training for 4 years, and I also have a master's degree in criminal justice.
Ms. Ball, can you explain what you did at the crime scene?
I worked with all my team, and I would go around and take notes of what we saw, and then we'd talk about everything that happened, and I'd take more notes.
The process is very detailed notes, correct?
Yes.
Can you explain what you mean by very detailed?
My notes included overall detailed descriptions of the crime scene, and it had an accurate list describing what each evidence is, when, where, and who took that evidence.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Ray.
Did you take notes regarding?
Yes.
By taking notes, you just write down a document what you're told, right?
Yes.
You are an investigator, so you didn't investigate.
I went into the crime scene with them, but we just wrote down what I saw.
If someone told you to write down something, you could magically wave a wand and say that that thing was true.
No.
You just write and document what's down, and then get an official report. Right?
Yes.
Do your notes indicate specifically what happened on January 7th?
Yes.
So again, do you know if what you wrote down is specifically true?
Yes, it is.
That was the question.
Thank you. You can see it now. Next witness is the scene supervisor, Landry M. I'm sorry, I can't read the last name.
Messer.
All right, come on up. And then next prosecutor is Evan Patrick. And the next defense attorney is Weston Cooper.
I do.
Please be seated.
Thank you.
Go ahead and do it.
Please state your name, Dr.
My name is Landry Messerman, and I was the supervisor for this case.
How long have you been supervisor?
6 years.
And how proficient would you say you are in this?
I'm the supervisor for a reason. I am 100% accurate always.
And Mr. Messerman, the forensic report states that the following objects were found at the crime scene: lipstick on glass, bullet casing, and a strand of hair on a plate. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Who did the hair belong to?
That hair belongs to Scarlet White.
Is that the hair the same color as Scarlet White?
Yes.
Thank you. What did so it did not belong to Elizabeth?
No.
So there was another woman, Scarlet White, at that house that night, of Elizabeth's murder.
Oh, absolutely.
Would that indicate that Thomas was having an affair with Scarlet?
Yes.
Your report states that Elizabeth was murdered inside her home. Is that statement accurate?
That statement is 100% accurate.
And you found the body in the stove, right?
Yes, the body was laying right next to the stove in the apartment of Elizabeth Green.
And would you agree that after everything that has been said, it would not be unreasonable to say that either Thomas or Scarlett shot and murdered Elizabeth?
Oh, for sure, absolutely.
Okay, Your Honor, the state of Texas would like to present exhibit B3Q into evidence for the defense to the prosecution.
All right, Mr. Field, any objection from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right, those will be admitted.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Field, come on up.
Are you going to do the police report?
I am.
Okay, and why did it take so long for y'all to get a statement from Scarlett?
We wanted to make sure all our facts were 100% accurate, which they are, and you can't solve a case in that short amount of time. So we were double checking, make sure everything's correct, which it is.
So the statements were out on the 24th, when the murder happened on the 7th. So is there any way that the stories could have changed or altered?
No, absolutely not.
Okay. And why was Elizabeth's boyfriend not a suspect in this case?
Well, that's because Elizabeth's boyfriend is a fake personalia created by Thomas and Scarlett White to, cover themselves up for the murder.
How do you prove that?
How can I prove that? Well, where is he? Why have we never seen this quote-unquote boyfriend of Scarlett White?
And why didn't you write that in the police report?
because he's not real. He's not a real person.
You still wrote that place.
He is not a real person. He did not fire those shots. Thank you, Your Honor.
Jessica Gutierrez, the handwriting analyst witness. Michelle T. Green is the prosecutor. I don't know that there is a defense attorney on this one. Is there a question mark or is there a defense attorney? All right, great. Go ahead and ready.
State your name and occupation.
Just big kid, handwriting analysis
How long have you been handwriting analysis?
for about 7 years.
What type of training and occupations do you have?
I have my master's degree in forensic science and I did a 2-year program that taught me graphology and document analysis.
During your analysis, did you find anything like different in like the diagram of the literature?
I did, the handwriting was completely different from the other journal entries. My analysis was that the Y's is written differently from the A's, and it's slant and are slanted differently, as well as other details.
Your Honor, the state of Texas states that the proposed defense counsel for inspection also represents evidence against the
Any objection from the defense? Okay, those are good.
Mr. Perry, would you state that the different handwriting belongs to Mr. Thomas?
Yes, and the report written by Thomas, he clearly indicates it was him. The S's and the Y's and the F were exactly the same as from the journal entry from January 3rd.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Okay, defense?
How accurate is handwriting analysis?
I would say about 90-95% accurate.
Okay, and were there any type of inconsistencies that could have been caught between standards and
They could have been filed completely.
so therefore handwriting analysis is not 100% reliable?
It's not 90%.
You can receive. Thank you, Ms. Gutierrez. The final witness for the prosecution is Mr. John Jones, the neighbor. Prosecutor is Juan Hernandez. Defense attorney is Robbie Hanks. Good.
State your name and relation to the Greens.
I am John Jones. I am the Greens neighbor.
You can remove your mask.
Oh,
So the house, you saw your car parked at the Greens home the night of the murder.
yes.
And did it belong to the house?
No, it did not.
What were your thoughts when you saw that car?
I thought a friend might be over.
Okay. Who came out of the car that day?
A woman did.
Did you tell, could you tell who it was?
I could not get it here to look at her face.
But it was a woman.
It was a woman, yes.
Have you ever interacted with the Greens before?
Yes, I have.
And what were your thoughts?
It was a struggling marriage. Thomas was very outrageous. Elizabeth Green was a sweet and kind woman. I knew they were having financial problems though.
So, the night of the murder, what did you hear? What did you see happening?
I heard 3 gunshots from their room.
And after that, did you see anyone leave the house?
I saw a woman leave the house.
Okay. In what way would you describe the man as she left the home?
I would say frightened.
Frightened, scared.
She was scared. She was running for her life.
Okay. Now, did the police come immediately after the shot?
No, they did not. It took about an hour 15 minutes for them to arrive.
Okay. No further questions on that?
Thank you. Mr. Hanks?
On that night, you heard gunshots, right?
Yes, sir.
So why didn't you call the police when you heard the
I thought it was just some stupid kids out in the woods firing at old cans.
Did you know if that car in the parking lot was stolen?
No, I did not. I did not know who it belonged to.
Did you ever hear the couple car?
I heard that they got into a few arguments, but nothing physical.
Thank you. You can be seated, sir. All right, so in a trial here at this point, the prosecution, I would ask them, are you ready to rest your case? If you rested your case, I've got the evidence, and whether or not they've proven their case beyond a reasonable doubt or not happens at this point. And so the defense would typically say, we'd like to move for a directed verdict or something like that. And they usually lose on that. And so then we continue with the defense put on their case. So now to the defense, you can put on your case. Your first witness is Thomas Green. Ryan Lasornio is the defense attorney, and Evan Patrick will be the prosecutor. Morning. Mr. Lasornio, come on up. Mr. Green, because you are one of the defendants here, you have a right to not testify if you wish to not incriminate yourself. And this would all happen outside the presence of the jury, by the way. And I would just say, have you had a chance to talk to your attorney about whether you want to testify or not? You want to testify? Okay. Now we'll bring the jury back in and let's get started.
How did you first meet Scott?
We met at the gym.
On that night, you brought over what you had to do.
Yes.
Is that why all the agencies, things that was clear that
Yes. I'm about to go through the day.
Can you really show the events of what happened?
We were eating dinner. I went to go grab another bottle of wine. When I came back, Elizabeth was in there and Scarlett wasn't. And me and Elizabeth started arguing. 2 shots came in from the outside. And then Scarlett came around the corner and shot her.
After you sat there, she called the police.
No.
Why not?
She was scared. She was in shock.
What about you?
I was scared and in shock. I was checking to see if my wife was alive.
Why did you were you so?
Because I didn't want Scarlett to go to jail.
And Mr. Patrick?
Your alibi states, I was at home preparing a dinner for my wife. I went to the wine closet to get more wine, and I heard 3 shots. When I returned to the kitchen, my wife was on the floor. I checked on her and tried to save her, but she was dead. I was afraid, so distraught that I went to a friend's house and didn't call. I'm seeing holes in your alibis. Your alibi has changed. Why is that?
I was in panic whenever I made that place up, and I did not expect to.
Yes or no, were you having an affair with Scarlett?
Yes.
Can I bring it to the journal?
Yes.
In the journal, it states, from Elizabeth, your deceased wife, I cannot believe all that is happening. Thomas just bought a boat, and it does not work. Previously, she said that you were fired. Is that correct?
Could you repeat the question?
Previously, she said you were fired from your job. So you were fired from your job, and you were without your job for 6 months. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And don't you think that would put stress on your marriage?
Yes, sir.
So if you were having a stressful and marriage that was not working and having an affair, would that not put probable cause of you at least being upset with your wife? Would you like to read that question?
Yeah.
Okay. If you were having an affair and your marriage was not good, would that not be a probable cause that you killed your wife, or at least were involved in killing your wife?
She was supposed to be out of town. I wasn't worried about her. I was just trying to do my time as well.
Okay, Your Honor, State X would like to submit his outline to records.
Great, any objection on the appearance? Admitted.
Your Honor, this jacket was worn by you.
Yes.
There is blood splatter on there, right there. Can you see that?
Yes.
On the left side of the jacket. This would prove that you were at least close to Elizabeth when she was shot.
Yes.
So you saw your mistress that you were having an affair with shoot your wife.
Yes.
My question is, one second. First of all, I'd like to submit the jacket and judgments.
Any objection? That's admitted.
And on in the journal entry, the most recent journal entry, January 3rd, states, "I am so happy to spend the next few days with my new boyfriend. He is wild and dangerous. This makes me feel so alive." Previously, the handwriting analysis said the handwriting did not match. And in fact, the handwriting from this journal entry matches your alibi. So you wrote in her journal. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Your fingerprints were also found in the journal. And we have a call record stating that on January 3rd, you made a call to her. She was in Seattle, Washington. So my question is, why did you write in her journal that she had a boyfriend?
I don't know.
So as you see, he made up a story and put it into the journal. And we got proof that she was not there on the day of the journal entry. Your Honor, I'd like to submit the phone record to evidence.
Any objection?
There you go.
Does it admitted?
The neighbor said that he heard 3 shots, and you say that she was shot from that Elizabeth shot her, right?
Elizabeth is dead.
My bad, I'm sorry. Scarlett. My bad. Scarlett shot Elizabeth, right? Okay. We have here the glass in the kitchen. I'll let it be shown to the jury. Okay. This is just a regular piece of glass, the one next to it. As you can see, I'll bring it up here. 2 shots hit right here. And you can see that the indention had to have come from this side. Okay? Well, one of them came from a different side. This is actually reverse. This is from outside of the window. So 2 shots came from outside, 1 came from inside. Can you explain that, Tom?
Yes. 2 shots came from outside, and then Scarlett shot someone else from inside.
So,
I said that earlier.
who would have shot from outside? I don't know. You don't know. So now you are saying that there was like some kind of drive-by or something?
All I know is there was 2 shots from outside. Then Scarlett came around and shot more.
Okay, Your Honor, I'd like to submit the window of the gunshots into evidence.
Any objection? Does it admitted?
The journal.
Okay.
So, yes or no, were you and Scarlett both there that night?
Yes.
Okay, so you were both there and your wife is dead. Correct?
Yes.
That's a vote.
Thank you. All right, you can be seated. Scarlett White, come on up, and Dakota Martin, to the defense attorney, Courtney Fraser, to the prosecutor. Ms. White, please spoken to your attorney, and you want to go ahead and testify?
Yes.
You know you have to.
Yes.
Go ahead, sir.
Kind of in a little relationship. And that's all this is. A few months. No. He invited me over to dinner.
Where is that?
Yeah.
What time did you get to the car?
I'm not sure. Maybe around 7-ish.
Something happened, that hour, I guess.
Yes. Well, I heard someone coming in and I was aware who it was and I was scared, so I ran to the door.
What happened on the,
I heard 2 gunshots.
what did you see you were,
I'm sorry?
what did you see you were on the corner?
I saw a stranger I've never seen before and I was startled.
After you shot with, what did you do?
I saw Thomas and he tried to revive her and I stood there in shock. I didn't know what to do.
Did you know?
We did eventually.
They're very safe. They really make friends and murder someone, you know, other things was we don't say that.
Yes.
What did you get at the
What do you mean? After I ran away.
Did you hear? Yeah.
Hmm?
What did you do?
I didn't.
Did you ever know the person that was after?
Yes.
Were you sure it wasn't safe?
No.
Thank you. Courtney Frazier.
Okay. How many times do you recall being angry? How many times do you recall being angry?
I don't exactly remember.
Okay, and then were you aware of Thomas being married? Okay. So do you recall being at the home multiple times, or was that one time?
Mostly just that one time.
That's okay. Whenever you were at the home, did you happen to see this photo of the couple?
See what?
This photo of the couple?
No, I've never seen that picture before.
Okay. Your Honor, the state of Texas would like to state Exhibit S to the defense counsel for inspection and officer into the evidence.
From the defense, is there any objection?
No, Your Honor.
This will be it.
Alright. So that picture was actually in the kitchen, so you explained to me, you were in the kitchen, correctly, or the dining room?
We were brief times.
Okay, I'm just confused on how you didn't see that photo. But anyways, you have a motive to change your alibi, but before we get into that, let me go ahead and read your alibi real quick. So this is the one you, for your state, please sit there. On the night of the 24th, I was at home watching a movie with my dog. I fell asleep on the couch and woke up the next morning to go to work. And now you're telling us that you were at the home that night. So you have motive to change your alibi because you're looking at prison. What are you telling us today that is different? And would you agree that your statement has changed?
Yes, the thing has changed.
Okay. And when Elizabeth showed up that night in the Church Jones dinner, were you angry, shocked, or what carried your emotions?
Just shocked. I didn't know who she was. I thought it was just like an intruder. I don't know.
Okay. And as Thomas stated, he said that you shot Elizabeth. Is this correct?
Yes.
So you did shoot and kill your statement?
Yes.
Okay. And you said that you hid the murder weapon as well?
No.
No. Okay, well, there was the 9mm found in the kitchen,
Yes.
and it very much the design to your gun, which was also found in your vehicle. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
So that is going to be the crime.
Thank you. You see it? All right, and you can see it as well. For closing arguments from the prosecution, Mr. Juan Hernandez. And who will be doing the defense closing?
Your Honor, I would like to waive the defense.
I'm sorry?
I would like to waive closing statement to the defense.
Okay. Defense goes first. Go ahead.
Your Honor, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I want to thank you for your service and for your undivided attention to this case. In order for you to find Scarlett White guilty of murder, you must find that the state has met its burden of proof beyond a reasonable doubt. Without question, there is doubt. The state has presented witnesses and gone to a lot of trouble to convince you that Scarlett and Thomas were having an affair and that she was at Thomas's apartment on the evening of the January 7th, and that she pulled the trigger and shot Elizabeth Green. The defense is contesting any of those issues. Scarlett was seen with Thomas. She went to his apartment. She was drinking wine and cooking dinner. And there was a shot fired from her gun that was caused the death of Thomas's wife. But based on the facts and evidence of the case as presented, Scarlett White was justified in shooting Elizabeth Green. There was no premeditated murder because Thomas and Scarlett thought his wife was out of town. You cannot plot to murder someone who's in your mind isn't even supposed to be there. Elizabeth Green, per the diary the state offered into evidence, was also having an affair, and she left town to meet up with her boyfriend to plot and carry out the murder of Thomas during a time others would think she was out of state. She surprised Thomas, lured him into the kitchen, and the boyfriend fired shots from outside the window to kill Thomas. The only problem with their plan was Scarlett was there hiding and confronted the life or death situation by returning fire. With one shot, she killed his wife. This explains why bullets came from outside from a different gun that was never found. Why would Scarlett keep one gun in plain view of her car and not the other? Where did it go? The boyfriend has that answer. The theory that she would have shot the wife, then go outside an apartment complex and shoot 2 more times to draw attention makes no sense. If Scarlett is guilty of anything, she and Thomas were forthcoming with their initial statements, but it makes sense why. They were just as confused as to how everything happened as you should be and tried to make a weak cover-up until more information was made known. The police work is unreliable as far as in what order the shots occurred and other details and just speculation. They didn't have the dates they didn't have the right dates that the statements were taken. If you want to find Scarlett guilty of something, then she is guilty of having an affair, but as far as murder, the verdict was clearly not guilty. So, Your Honor and the jury, I please ask that you find my defendants not guilty. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Hernandez.
Your Honor, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I came here prepared for battle, but after the amazing job my colleagues have done, the verdict is clear. The defense has a tendency to lie, having holes in their alibis, making stories of when they're on the stand. And the prosecution is on the side of actual evidence. They presented no evidence, but made up stories. Now, Elizabeth was out of town, as we have proved, and came home expecting to find her loving husband, but instead faced the harsh reality of finding him and Scarlett White having an affair. Now, I want you to think to yourself, how would you feel? How would you feel, right? I'm sure I would be heartbroken, and I'm sure she was enraged as well, which is why they had a discussion, and Scarlett was enraged herself. She wanted to keep Thomas for herself, and she shot her, as Thomas himself said that Scarlett shot, right? So, therefore, you have no other choice, and I'm sure that you will make the right choice and have Thomas Green and Scarlett White guilty of murdering Elizabeth. Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you. You see. Anything else from the prosecution or the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, man in the green shirt, if you come up here, you've been designated as a jury foreperson. I'm going to hand these to you. These are the 2 verdict forms. You're going to take these with the jury. You need to circle either guilty or not guilty. for each defendant, and then sign your name at the bottom. Here's a pen. If I could have you go back and then the entire jury will go out into the hallway. You can privately deliberate and let me know. Tell the bailiff how the bailiff can work it. When you have a verdict, let me know.
Decided to say not guilty, but we do say that it wasn't harmless to the murder. When it comes to Scarlett White, we found her guilty on all of our
So let me see here. If I can get you man, all stand up. All right, so the three of you are going to rob a bank. All right? You three are going to rob a bank. And you got the mask. You're going to go. You're going to go in with the gun and actually hold up the cashier. And you're going to be the getaway driver. And you're going to be the one who works inside the bank. You're going to get a job and work there for a little while and get a feel for everything. So they rob the bank. This one just drives a car. This one just works here, provides information. This one actually goes in free, stick them up, she takes a bag of money. Now, they get tried for robbing a bank. Who's guilty? Of what? Is one of them get punished more than the other? Is one of them guilty of a different crime? If all she did was drive the car, is that less serious? Guilt by association. So what you're describing is the law of parties, and that means if you do anything to aid, assist, and encourage another person to commit a crime, you're just as guilty. So I have bad news from Mr. Green. What the jury said was, we find that you were not guilty, but you're an accomplice. One Texas is guilty. So if you go to sentencing, that would be the next phase, which I guess we're not going to do today, but you could get up to life in prison, and that may be something where your attorney could say, ladies and gentlemen, he didn't pull the trigger, he was just an accomplice, so punish him less. Well, that's an argument you can make, but it may not work. So, anyway. Very impressed with your performance today. You guys did an excellent job. You're welcome to come back here anytime to do this. Mr. Robinson, do you have anything else you would like us to do this morning?
Can we get a picture with the two teams and you at the bench?
Yeah, come on down.